I don't like LeBron James. Let me say for the record, I have the ultimate respect for LeBron James. To me, he's in my top 5. Do I think he's better than Michael? No. I don't give a fuck if he scores 80,000 points.
Knock it off. Goddamn, boy, you bronzexuals be killing me.
Bronzexuals.
The room gets quieter and your feed explodes because when a comedian decides to wade into the GOAT wars and straight up call out a living legend, people pay attention. That's exactly what happened when Aries Spears sat down with Byron Scott on the Fast Break podcast and went nuclear on LeBron James while doubling down that Michael Jordan remains the undisputed GOAT. The clip hit late February and kept gaining steam into early March 2026, spawning reaction videos, memes, and a social media pile-on that's still trending. Let's set the scene. Aries walked into Byron's show with that trademark blend of impressions, comedic cadence, and no-filter takes. What started as riffing quickly turned to cold analysis. Spears rehashed long-standing critiques. He argued that LeBron's impact is overrated when you strip away longevity and narrative control and compare raw champion instinct moments. He peppered those points with impression-driven jokes, then pivoted to serious claims. Jordan's killer instinct, 6-for-6 finals record, and cultural dominance, he said, aren't comparable to LeBron's body of work. That bite-sized combo, comedy plus hot take, made the segment irresistible for clips and reposts.
Athletes that people have said have been the most popular, impactful athletes of all time. Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan. As popular as LeBron is he globally famous? Like on the level of Jordan? No. Has he impacted the game at the level of Jordan? No.
Here's the part nobody's talking about. Aries didn't invent this argument yesterday. He's been a persistent voice in the Jordan era is supreme corner for years. He's riffed on it publicly before, using satire to sharpen his point about mentality and cultural impact. But this appearance felt different because it opened with comedy and closed with what felt like a deliberate, research-backed takedown. He referenced specific moments, clutch shots, body language in crunch time, and media-era advantages, then used social clips to puncture LeBron's most defended narratives. That combination is why the segment moved from funny bit to news clip almost instantly.
I get it. I'm a LeBron fan. People think I'm not. I am. I recognize his greatness. But he ain't MJ. He's not with MJ.
Break it down for receipts. Spears accused LeBron of manufacturing a narrative, leaning on longevity, platform, and control of the message, instead of winning through the kind of takeover moments Jordan delivered in the finals. He pointed to the cultural architecture around LeBron, media access, player empowerment era, agent power, and said those factors create perception advantages that aren't the same as in-game domination. On the flip side, he insisted Jordan's legacy is anchored in immutable finals outcomes and an aura that rewired how opponents played against him. Whether you buy it or not, Spears' argument wasn't mere hot air. It pressed on two pillars people debate every time GOAT talk resurfaces: statistical weight versus legendary moments. This is where it gets dangerous, because comedy can make blunt claims feel true. When a skilled performer mocks you, it hits differently than a stats thread. Spears used impressions, he's famous for them, to lampoon talking heads who elevate LeBron, then hammered on the emotional logic. Jordan created fear, LeBron created a brand. For many viewers, that felt like an incisive distinction. For others, it felt like revisionist theater, a comedian playing to a crowd that already wants a certain answer. Either way, the clip generated reams of reaction content, pundits dissecting his claims, fans posting counter receipts, and highlight channels playing clips on repeat.
Players today, the young generation, athletes bigger, stronger, faster. Are they wearing LeBron sneakers? Nope, they're wearing Jordans. Jordan ain't played professional basketball in just over 20 years, and he's still the favorite in terms of the standard.
Let's widen the frame. The conversation didn't exist in a vacuum. It arrived while the league is full of competing storylines. Younger superstars like Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic continue to build legacies that redefine positional value and leadership on the floor. Veteran debates about coaching, load management, and media power are ongoing, and Michael Jordan's recent reemergence in broadcast and public life has sharpened nostalgia. That context matters because Spears didn't just attack a player, he was auditioning a thesis. In a fragmented era of media control and brand building, who gets to be the real GOAT? People are primed to take sides. Spears knows how to deliver a line that sticks. By peppering his takedown with viral impressions and humor, he lowered the guard of casual viewers who might otherwise reflexively defend LeBron. That's a tactical media move. Use comedy to frame the debate, then let analysts and pundits do the heavy lifting of stats and clips to reinforce the narrative. The result is often a two-step persuasion. First, you make the crowd laugh, then you make them accept a reframe. That's why the reaction cycle was so fast. Clips with jokes went viral. Then platoons of analysts followed up with thread-length rebuttals or supporting takes.
You know, they say, let me ask you this. They go, Michael couldn't have taken a bum Cavs team to the finals the way LeBron did.
That's
Now
a good
keep
point.
in mind,
That's a good point.
No, it's not a good point, because keep in mind what I just said. Mike took a coke-infested bum Bulls team and he lost in the second round or in the first round, second game, or whatever the fuck it was, to the Celtics. 5 Hall of Famers, then champions. You don't think Mike could have took that Cavs team to the finals in a conference that wasn't as strong when Mike was in the East? That's why they called it the Leaston Conference. When LeBron was in the East, it was at its weakest.
Now, let's unpack some of the pushback, because the media ecosystem reacted predictably and loudly. LeBron's defenders pointed to the depth of his career, sheer counting stats, longevity, adaptability across eras and teammates, clutch moments across multiple teams, and the way he redefined player agency. They argued Spears was engaging in performative provocation rather than sober comparison. Fans posted thread after thread of playoff game film where LeBron dominated. Others pointed out that Jordan's era and rules were different and that apples-to-apples comparisons require nuance. The net effect? The clip didn't resolve the debate, it amplified the two camps. This is where young players usually make a mistake, as they let media narratives shape their identity before they've had a chance to build one. Aries' viral bit is a reminder that narrative framing, especially when delivered with humor and clips, can define public perception faster than performance. For emerging stars, the lesson is clear. Control your own narrative through play and discipline, not through reaction. If the next generation over-indexes on social persona, comedians like Spears will have a field day. If they stay focused on the court, the chatter fades. That's timeless, and Spears' appearance was a practical demonstration.
When Jordan was in the East, it was at its strongest. The defense, the physicality, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Pistons, the Pacers. The fuck out of here, man.
Well, no, I remember
Let's get to legacy, because that's where this all lands. Spears' defense of Jordan is less about stats and more about cultural memory. Jordan wasn't just a winner, he remade what it meant to be a global sports icon. Spears argued that cultural weight is part of the GOAT calculus, and he's not the first to say it. But culture shifts, and while Jordan's aura is immovable for many, the counterpoint remains. LeBron has built modern cultural dominance in a different key, more openly political, more platform-driven, and more directly connected to player empowerment. Debating the GOAT without weighing cultural footprint is incomplete, and Spears knew that. The problem for his critics is that comedy shortcuts often make nuance evaporate. The fallout beyond the clip is serious. Aries' comments forced to cascade. Clips to social media, reposts to mainstream outlets, reaction segments on sports TV, and the inevitable podcast backlash episode. All of that attention can be career gold for a comedian or a cultural pivot point for a sports narrative. Spears gets eyeballs and engagement. The debate over LeBron versus Jordan gets another round in front of a wide audience. Sometimes these cycles change opinions. More often, they sharpen existing allegiances. Either way, Spears' segment accomplished what viral content aims to do. It controlled the first 48 hours of the conversation. So now, the final, unavoidable question. Did Aries Spears expose LeBron, or did he just sharpen an old debate with a comedian's scalpel? If you believe narrative control and cultural optics matter more than isolated box score peaks, Spears scored big. He reminded people that GOAT debates are as much cultural as they are statistical. If you believe in adjusted metrics, context-aware film study, and the cumulative weight of 2 decades of elite production, then Spears' bit is a spicy, entertaining riff that doesn't dethrone anyone. Either way, the exchange forces fans to articulate why they back their side, and that's valuable in itself. If you think Aries landed a blow, point to the moments and the cultural architecture that support him. If you think he flopped, bring the game film, clutch buckets, game-winning plays, and series where LeBron's presence changed outcomes. Don't serve neutral takes. The GOAT debate never truly ends, but every viral moment like this makes it more fun, more personal, and more combustible. Drop your hot takes below. Bring receipts.